They did not work, and they will never work.
Definitely. But why do you say so?
The only thing I promised you on this platform is to tell you what I believe to be true. You don't have to believe me, but it is my own truth. Let's be real. There are men and women who have never prayed a day in their lives, but they are healthy, wealthy, powerful, and respected. They built companies, built empires, transformed nations without ever having to whisper amen. They didn't pray, they planned. They didn't fast, they focused. They didn't bind demons, they broke limitations. Meanwhile, there are entire families that have been praying from birth. Mothers praying through labor, fathers praying through poverty, children praying before bed, generations on their knees, yet never saw success. No wealth, no health, no breakthrough, just a cycle of survival. So ask yourself, if prayers truly worked, why does the man who never bowed his head live a more successful and happy life than the one who never lifted his head from the floor? My father, during his last years on earth, was a devout member of the Deeper Life Bible Church, that group in Nigeria that behave as if they carry God in their pockets and purses. Not only was he a member, but he also gave them his property to use as church, rent-free. So he gave his space, his loyalty, his breath. And still, with all their prayers, he got sick and died at 68. So tell me, what exactly did prayer change? What disease did he cure? What grave did he stop from swallowing him? Anything that works is actionable. There is evidence that fire burns. Touch it and you'll find out. There is evidence that you will drown if you try to swim across the Pacific. There is evidence that poison will kill you if you dare swallow it. Evidence that bullet rips through flesh. Evidence that gravity never fails. But show me one evidence that prayer works. Just one. Your imam's father died, his prayers couldn't raise him. Your pastor's mother died, your grandparents prayed for wealth, for prosperity and breakthrough. Yet, your parents still work themselves into the soil just to put food on the table. Where is the evidence that prayer really works? Prayer has never raised a corpse that wasn't already meant to rise by medical intervention. Prayer has never turned empty pockets into abundance without human effort. Prayer has never stopped the rain, shifted the sun, or stopped cancer. Prayer is not action, it's amnesia, a drug for the masses, a lullaby to keep you quiet while reality eats you alive. You keep calling on heaven to do what your own hands refuse to do. You kneel and beg instead of standing and building. You close your eyes and worship while the world moves forward with open eyes. Think about it. If prayer worked, hospitals wouldn't exist. If prayer worked, the most prayerful families wouldn't be the most broken. If prayer worked, South Sudan, Somalia, Ukraine, Gaza, and the rest wouldn't be in active wars today where children are starving. So no, prayers don't stop wars, people do. Prayers don't end famine, farmers do. Prayers don't heal sickness. Doctors, medicine, science, and sometimes sheer survival do. So, what is prayer really? Prayer is wishful thinking dressed in holy clothes. Prayer is outsourcing your responsibilities to the silent sky. Prayer is the act of doing nothing and expecting everything. You say, but prayer gives me peace. So does sleep. So does music. So does therapy. That's not divine. That's psychology. You say, but sometimes prayers are answered. No, that's coincidence. That's probability. That's you praying for rain in the raining season and calling it miracle. So, if you still believe that prayer works, please answer these questions. Why did you pray for your mother's life and still buried her? Why did you pray for financial breakthrough and still end up in debt? Why did your religious leader pray for survival but still watched his parents rot in the grave? Why did your religious leader ask you and depend on your tithe, seeds, and offering when he could have prayed it into being? The truth is harsh, but it is here on this platform. Prayer cannot bring anything into being. It cannot change a situation. It cannot alter reality. Prayer is simply talking to yourself and hoping someone's listening. Prayer is the placebo you swallow when the truth is too bitter to swallow. Prayer is the excuse that keeps you from thinking, from acting. And until you admit this bitter truth, you would keep begging the sky for things only your hand, your mind, and courage can create. Prayers don't work. They never did and never will. Prayers don't work. They did not work and they will never work.
Definitely. But why do you say so?